So when it came to excess mortality, the thing that always confounds things is that, if you subtract the COVID deaths, we really don't know, how many deaths are COVID, are truly COVID deaths. There's been cases where people had other, a number of the official number is people who were in palliative care that died with a positive COVID test, so, that they are possibly people who sadly would have passed away anyway. So subtracting the COVID number from, the total number is not a realistic way to try to understand, what the real excess is. So what I did, rather than sort of, struggling with that issue, there are states in Australia where we kept COVID out for a long period of time, right up until the Omicron wave hit. States such as Queensland, South Australia, and even longer, Western Australia kept it out even, a couple of months extra, where we have no COVID, and we can try to see what was going on during that time. So I acquired a set of data from the ABS with fine age ranges for Queensland, because Queensland's, probably the biggest of those states in population that I mentioned, and started looking at that. So we know there was no locally acquired COVID until right at the end of 2021. So, if you hypothesize that, could the vaccines have made a difference? We've got a period from, the beginning of March 2021, right up until the end of 2021, where we can look at mortality and see, were there any changes in patterns? And this is looking at what's called the trend. Basically, the line that goes through the middle of the raw mortality data. And I looked at data of older people in Queensland from ages 60 and above. And so you're seeing deaths per week up the left-hand vertical axis. And the things you notice from this is that before the first dotted line, which is marked at March 2021, you see this general trend that the deaths are going down, and that's because in certain ages people are living longer, and we know that's a fact. Better health care, better lifestyle, and so on. There's this general trend that the rate of death is going down per year. Now that also depends on age. To do this analysis properly, you really have to go into the details, and a lot of the details of the models are not the models such as Claire has just spoken about are not available to us. So if you look at the pink curve up the top, that's ages 85 to 89. So you see the trend is going down. Now, what I've done is arbitrarily lined all these curves up at the 1st of March 2021, which just happens to be the date that vaccination commenced in Australia. The black line down the bottom is the 95 pluses. Now, you don't see this trend increasing longevity in those really old ages. If we get to 95, we're doing really well. People aren't, living longer past that age. But, around 80, which is around the median age of death, we have an expectation that people are living longer. There's also the age 60 in there's down the bottom. That's pretty flat too. But there's a very obvious inflection in this curve. And between those two dotted lines that I'm showing there, that's from the time vaccination commenced to the first deaths in Queensland from Omicron, you can see the trend starts going up in all those ages. And it's quite alarming in those older ages, like if you looked at the 90, plus 90. But by the end of that year, the trend's gone up above any other value in the previous 5 to 6 years.